Now, this is case number 30 on the calendar in the matter of McCahill versus Harrison. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks have seats.
Would you take the child out, Bert?
Sure thing, Judge.
Thank you.
Young man.
Okay.
This way.
Ms. McCahill, your suit against the defendant has to do with charges that you claim were false that she made against you. You had a trial with regard to those charges. You were found not guilty.
Yes.
And you believe she should pay for all of your legal expenses that you had to defend yourself. I gather that the relationship that you had with the defendant was that she had been your babysitter for a relatively short period of time. Then you and your husband divorced, and your husband was awarded custody of your child. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And your former husband hired the defendant to watch your child.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, according to you, your child told you that during a visitation, probably, that the defendant had hit him.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went to the defendant's house to confront her about that.
Yes, ma'am.
There was some sort of an incident. You say that there was really a non-incident. Shortly thereafter, you were contacted by the police and told that she had filed charges against you, and that precipitated the trial for trespass and damage to property.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant is counterclaiming for some of the damage that she says that you did to the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When did you and your husband divorce?
In April of 2000.
And when was he awarded custody?
At that time.
And when did your child allegedly report to you that the defendant had hit him?
On October 17th of 2001.
And what did your child tell you?
He arrived at my house for my birthday, and when he walked in the door, he said, "Mom, Jennifer hit me again."
How old is he?
He is 8 years old.
Okay.
At the time, he was 7.
Okay.
And those were the first words that came out of his mouth when he walked in my door.
Jennifer hit me again.
Yes.
Did you ask him any questions about it?
Yes, I said, "Where did she hit you?" And he replied, "In my head." And I said, "Well, what for?" And he said, "Because I would not pick up poop with my hand."
Now, when did you discuss this with the child's father?
I had discussed it with David, and he said that it did
On
not
the
happen.
17th?
No, the next day.
On the
called.
18th of October?
Right.
Okay.
And I told him that Brendan had told me that Jennifer had hit him.
And he said it didn't happen.
Yes.
When did you go over to her house?
I went over to her house on the 18th.
And who did you go over with?
I went over with my friend. I was upset because, you know, she had hit Brendan. So I went over there to discuss it. I walked up her driveway. She met me in her carport. And I said to her, "Jennifer, Brendan told me that you had hit him." And she started saying that I was crazy and that the reason Brendan acted the way he did was because of me. And after that, her and had words.
Why would you get involved in this at all?
Because when she started saying that I was crazy, stepped forward and started defending me.
And then what happened?
I was ready to go. And when we were going out to my truck, as soon as we got to my truck, I looked up and she was saying, "Come, if you want a piece of me, come," you know, she was doing this. She was, "Come on, get a piece of me." That's what she was yelling at me. And we got in my truck and we left. And we went straight to the Brighton police station where I tried to press charges against her for hitting Brendan, but was unable to because Brendan was not in my physical custody at the time.
When were you notified by the police that you were the subject of an arrest warrant?
A month later, day before Thanksgiving, I was on the phone with my mother, and my ex-husband got a hold of my mother and told her that I had a warrant for my arrest. And how he knew, I don't know. And so I called my lawyer immediately after that and told my lawyer that I had a warrant for my arrest.
Okay. Now, you subsequently went to trial, is that right?
Yes, I did.
The defendant testified at the trial?
Yes, she did.
And did you testify?
Yes.
And was there a jury trial?
Yes, there was.
And the jury came back with a not guilty verdict?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, Ms. Harrison, I would like you to tell me your version of the events, please.
Okay. On October 18th, Katie did come to my home. The incident that she is referring to, that Brendan was referring to, actually happened in June of that year, where he had stepped in dog poop out in the yard and walked into the house, and the kids are supposed to take their shoes off. And he didn't take his shoes off, and he had got dog poop on the carpet. And instead of telling the kids that they did something stupid, or I don't say that, we go, duh, what'd you do that for? And then he usually goes, yeah, duh, yeah, I did that. And that was the incident. She comes to my place in October, which is 5-6 months later, and accuses me of hitting her son and started cussing and swearing at me, telling me, who did I think I was by hitting her son, and that they were going to kick my if I ever touched her son again. I said, do you want to hear this story or not? I said, I'll tell you what happened. No, I believe my son. You hit my son, and this other girl was